Imagine this: you're having a conversation with someone, a close friend, a partner, or even a coworker, and something doesn't feel quite right. You are not sure what it is, but you walk away from the conversation feeling drained, guilty, or confused. Maybe you're questioning yourself, wondering if you're being too sensitive, but deep down, you know that something was off. That's the subtle art of emotional blackmail. We all know what it feels like when someone is openly threatening us or when they are making demands that are impossible to ignore. But what about when it's much quieter? When the pressure is so hidden that you don't even realize you're being manipulated until it's too late. Emotional blackmail often operates under the radar. It's insidious, sneaky, and if you're not paying attention, it can sneak its way into your life and hijack your peace of mind. So, how can you spot it? First, let's take a step back and define it. Emotional blackmail is when someone uses your emotions, your feelings of guilt, fear, or love as a leverage to manipulate or control your decisions and actions. It's not always overt, it's subtle, clever, and often disguised as concern or care. But beneath the surface, it's a form of coercion, a power struggle where one person holds the emotional well being of another in their hands. But here is the catch: the signs are not always as obvious as you think. Let's look at the signs. Sign number one: the guilt trip. You've heard it before, right? After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me. Or I thought you cared about me. If you really loved me, you wouldn't make me feel this way. These are classic lines. It's easy to get swept up in the guilt of those statements because they play on the deep seated need for our approval, validation, and love. But here is the question: when is the last time you were told that you were responsible for someone else's happiness? Emotional blackmailers use your own desire to feel loved and appreciated against you. They know how to push your emotional buttons and make you feel responsible for their emotions, their needs, and their outcomes. It's crucial to recognize when guilt is being used to twist your decisions. Ask yourself, is this person holding me emotional hostage? Am I making decisions based on my values, or am I just trying to ease their discomfort? Another subtle yet potent form of emotional blackmail is the fear of abandonment. Have you ever heard, if you leave me, I don't know what I'll do with myself, or I'll never be the same without you? These statements often appear out of nowhere, but they can pack an emotional punch. They tug at your heartstrings, pulling you into a deep sense of responsibility for the well being of someone else. Here is the thing: relationships thrive on mutual respect and care, not on fear. When someone makes you feel like your departure, your disagreement, or your decision to stand up for yourself will cause them irreversible damage, that's manipulation. It's playing on your compassion to maintain control over you. Pay attention to how often these fear based tactics are used. You might even start to notice how frequently they play the victim card. But love doesn't thrive on fear. True connection exists when both parties feel safe, heard, and respected. Sign number three: the silent treatment. Here is one that's deceptively subtle and painful: the silent treatment. When someone cuts off communication, withdraws, or simply refuses to engage unless you give in to their demands, that's emotional blackmail. It might not be a direct threat or a guilt-laden comment, but the silence itself is powerful. It forces you to fill the void with anxiety, questioning, and self-doubt. The emotional blackmailer knows that silence can make you second guess your position, and they are counting on that uncertainty to wear you down. Silence is a weapon used to create emotional chaos. So you start chasing after their approval, begging for reconciliation, and ultimately surrendering to their terms. Sign number four: I'm doing this for you. but it's not. Let's talk about this one. I'm doing this for your own good, but your actions are clearly serving your own interest. This is a tricky one because it often looks like care or sacrifice, but in reality, it's all about control. Think about it. When someone says, I'm doing this for you, they want to position themselves as the savior, putting you in a position where saying no or disagreeing feels like you're rejecting their help. This creates an internal struggle in you. You don't want to feel ungrateful, so you give in. And that's exactly what they want. But the truth is, no one should be manipulating your decisions under the guise of doing something for you. True care allows for independence and autonomy, not forced alignment to someone else's agenda. Sign number 5, flipping the script. You're upset, right? You're feeling hurt because of something the other person said or did. You try to express your feelings, but suddenly the conversation shifts. Instead of addressing your feelings, the conversation turns to their hurt feelings, their past wrongs, and how much they've suffered. Before you know it, you're apologizing for feeling upset in the first place. This tactic is called flipping the script, and it's a classic move in the emotional blackmail playbook. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, they turn the conversation around and make you feel like the one who is wrong for having emotions or for standing up for yourself. If you find yourself constantly apologizing for expressing your needs or feelings, this is a red flag. Emotional blackmailers have a knack for making you question your reality, so you feel like the problem lies within you. Now, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Recognizing these signs is the first step, but the real power comes from knowing what to do with that knowledge. The key to breaking free from emotional blackmail is boundaries. Healthy boundaries are essential for preserving your mental and emotional well being. When you recognize the signs of emotional manipulation, it's vital to stand firm and make decisions that align with your values, not someone else's emotional demands. This may mean saying no, even when you feel guilty. It may mean having tough conversations where you assert your right to be heard. It could involve distancing yourself from toxic people who try to manipulate your emotions. But ultimately, it's about reclaiming control of your life and your choices. It's time to stop being a pawn in someone else's emotional game. Your peace is worth defending. Your happiness is worth protecting. And your voice deserves to be heard without fear, guilt, or manipulation. Awareness is key to empowerment. When you understand the subtle signs of emotional blackmail, you gain the ability to see through manipulation and make choices that honor your truth. You don't have to remain trapped in unhealthy dynamics. You can choose freedom. And that freedom starts with setting boundaries and taking control of your own emotional life. I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on your own relationships. Do you see any signs of emotional blackmail? Are there places in your life where you are giving more than you're comfortable with, or allowing someone to control your decisions through fear and guilt? Now is the time to speak up. Set your boundaries, reclaim your power. Because at the end of the day, emotional blackmail is a choice, and so is freedom. Choose wisely. I hope this has helped someone today. Thank you for watching or listening. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Bye.